Here's Navarro on the run. Navarro's going to keep it. Navarro for 6! Touchdown, Bobcat!
I feel I had a hard time staying in my own lane.
Oh my goodness! Red Murdoch! Pick 6!
Harvath inside the 30 to 20. Blake Harvath will score!
And Mendoza takes a big hit. He never saw it coming. Trey White got in there.
There's his man, Rucker. And nobody's going to catch him. Goodbye.
Intercepted. Tyree Skipper. Touchdown.
Telly again, why not? A step forward and make it 2 for Telly.
Quarterback keeper. Showing off the speed. Steps on the gas. Untouched.
The G5 Hive. All G5 all the time.
Welcome to the G5 Hive, where we bring you the G5 college football coverage you love each and every week. I am Luke. I'm joined by my co-host, Justice. If you're watching us on YouTube, please hit that like and subscribe button. If you're watching us on X, give us a follow, a like, and a retweet. And if you're listening to us in podcast form, please rate and review. To the American Conference Friday night game. What a doozy we had in the sense of just history in this game. First half, other than the first drive by North Texas, I would have been hard-pressed to tell you which team was 6-1 and which team was 1-6. Like, Charlotte looked, I'm not going to say pretty good. They looked decent. North Texas was all out of sorts. In the first half, Drew Mestemaker had 329 passing yards. Charlotte wide receiver Javen Nicholas had a half. He had 4 receptions, 125 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 rush for 20 yards. North Texas would get things clicking in the second half as they would outscore Charlotte 37-3. North Texas was up 7. They stopped Charlotte on a fake punt deep in their own territory. I don't think it really it didn't fool anybody. I really don't know what was going on. North Texas has a 70-yard tunnel screen to Wyatt Young, puts them up 40-20, and then but they bobbled an extra point. But that was just the backbreaker in this one. If like I said, Charlotte was playing well, okay, and once they had that 70-yard screen to the house, game over. Record holder for passing yards in a game in North Texas and an American Conference history, like Justice mentioned earlier, 608 for Drew Mestemaker. Former American Conference records were both 601 yards in 2007. Daniel Meager? Is that how you say it? Meager? And then all the way back in UCF, Dylan Gabriel, now Cleveland Brown quarterback. So it's been a while. I honestly kind of forgot about UCF being in the American.
It's a couple years ago.
It's just been a bit. So that record been around. Saturday games, number 18 at Memphis. This one was a fun game to watch. Man, I wish Memphis would not have lost to UAB because it would have made it just even better. But South Florida scored a 73-yard touchdown to go up 31-17 with USF up 17 heading into the fourth. You kind of saw it wouldn't be too much longer, that it would be too much for Memphis to come back. Memphis scores a quick touchdown. South Florida punts. Memphis scores a field goal. They cut the lead to 5 with about 7 minutes left. South Florida is up 5. Here you start think about their 4th and 3 from the Memphis 7. They did not convert in the third quarter. Should they have kicked the field goal? And at that time, they would have gone up 10. And here, this means they would have been up 8. They punt it back to Memphis with just under 5 minutes to go. Memphis marches down the field 70 yards. They score a touchdown. They go up 1. Lewis runs it in for the 2-point conversion to go up 3. They had to review it, do all that stuff. He's in. South Florida with their last chance to hold, their playoff destiny. They marched 51 yards in 1 minute, 7 seconds to set up the Grammatica for a 52-yard field goal. And he's been automatic.
Automatic or Grammatica.
And he was, I put it on the notes wide right. I'm pretty sure he was wide left in the sense. It didn't look good in this one, but Memphis wins 34-31. Huge win. Maybe just tells me that they were overlooking UAB in that rivalry game and looking forward to USF.
Yeah, I mean UAB hadn't defense was god awful, right? But UAB got the juice from the coach firing, and to your point, Memphis probably overlooked them. It is kind of interesting though, like that the AP voters kind of like it would seem in their mind they've kind of forgiven that loss, right? That Memphis loss because UAB was a bottom 10 team, right? And they lost. Memphis lost to a bottom 10 team. So it's like the voters quickly forgot or quickly forgave Memphis for that loss by getting this big win over South Florida. It's going to be interesting to kind of see what happens in the American. We're already starting to see it a little bit. Like we talked about it. Will the American cannibalize themselves and potentially cost the conference the college football playoff spot? We'll see. Got another big matchup coming up this week.
All right. UConn at Rice. This one, another fun one that went into extra football twice. So, UConn kicker, he slipped twice in this game. One on an extra point. The other one was on, and he made that one. The other one was on a field goal. He missed that one. I don't know what was going on. There was definitely some rain that the holder started like using his towel to wipe down the area around where he was planting. It just was slick. It looked awkward. It was weird. I've never seen anything like it. But anyways, UConn kicker, he slips twice. About 30 seconds to go. The unforgotten play of the game for me was the UConn punter. He has the ball about fly over his head. Game is tied. He snaps here. He grabs that ball, brings it down, and has a clean punt. If he's unable to get that ball, it probably rolls close to the end zone, maybe even in the end zone. Rain started coming down in the fourth with about 5 minutes to go in the game, and it was pouring by the end of regulation. Both teams get touchdowns in the first overtime. UConn gets a field goal, and Quentin Jackson adds to his big day with a 23-yard touchdown in the second overtime. I'm not going to lie. This orbital option that Rice runs was no joke. UConn had a hard time defending it. We talked about Quentin Jackson's big day. He's just an explosive kid. Small, but he is explosive. Again, player of the week for me, 21 carries, 168 yards, 3 touchdowns, led the team in receiving with 3 receptions for 80 yards, a touchdown, 248 total yards on the day. And Joe Fagano, also a big day for UConn, 344 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, no interception. He's been on a tear. But I will say when that rain started coming down, passing the ball became a little bit tougher for UConn and holding on to the ball. But like I said, in this one, Rice wins double overtime, 37-34.
Yeah, and it was Chase Jenkins was out there, and that's a key for this offense. Like the offense needs that threat of a mobile quarterback. So Chase Jenkins coming back out and being able to play this week for Rice was huge. And to your point, I've talked about it numerous times. Quentin Jackson, he is the explosive playmaker on this team. Like he's like the only one they have. And like he's small, man, but he is so dynamic with the ball in his hands. Like to see him get he got a lot of work, this past week, but there's been some weeks where he, only gets like 12 touches or so. It feels like they just got to figure out ways to get the ball in his hand, kind of like we talked about Middlebrook. Quentin Jackson is the man in terms of those kinds of plays, and so they got to continue to get the ball in Quentin Jackson's hands as they go forward.
There's also a running back, true freshman, who looked
DeAndre Hardeman Jr.
Yeah, he looked pretty good. He didn't get a lot of touches, but he made an impression on me. So definitely got to watch. I'm pretty sure we talked about him and highlighted him in our Worker Bee series.
We did. It was
He's
him
like
and
one of those like guys that just comes from like a really good school that the Rice doesn't typically get those types of kids that brought him in. So a guy to watch for sure. All right. Temple at Tulsa, another extra football game, 14-10 Temple, and they go for it on 4th down in the second quarter, under 2 minutes. Simons is stuffed on an option read. Tulsa ends up scoring a touchdown. Tulsa now ahead 17-14 at the half. There's an exciting third quarter. There are 21 points scored. It was 28-24. Temple after 3. Temple would go up 7 after a field goal with 6:05 left. Tulsa would respond with a touchdown and tie the game up at 31. Key plays on the drive where Temple had back-to-back pass interference calls. One was on 3rd down that gave Tulsa new life, and Hayes had a 44-yard pass to Josh Smith. Temple had the ball first, and each team scores a touchdown in the overtime, but Tulsa decides to go for 2. They do not convert on a pass to tight end Brody Foley, who's been on a tear the last couple weeks. Temple escapes 38-37. Simon with 5 passing touchdowns on the day. Had some of these guys not really blown up, he would have been one of those guys putting his name up there for Offensive Player of the Week.
Yeah, and I think I saw something after this win. Casey Keeler is the most winning coach from active coaching standpoint. He's the winningest coach that's still active, and we've talked about it before. Casey Keeler, man, that's all he does is win, and I know like the Temple record's not going to be anything like stupid or crazy, and so he's not going to get consideration or recognition. But man, like he deserves a Coach of the Year. I think Temple had not won more than 3 games since 2019. I think was a stat I read today. And yeah, Casey Keeler is just a winner. I know he's an older guy. He's not going to get consideration. I don't think for any of these P4 openings. But man, like he deserves it. He deserves it. He's one of the best coaches in college football.
All right. Let's get to FAU at Navy, 21-13. Navy at the half. However, they went for a touchdown from the 2 as time expires. They didn't convert. It was a 13-play, 96-yard drive that took up 5 minutes and 31 seconds, and they got no points. Just kind of demoralizing there. Third quarter, Navy turnover on downs at the FAU 42. FAU then misses a field goal. Navy turned it over on down again. FAU at the FAU 19, and then FAU Dominique Henry fumble. So a lot of turnovers and missed opportunities there in the third quarter. Fourth quarter, Navy touchdown, FAU INT. Navy touchdown makes it 35-13. FAU would score a touchdown with 5:38 left in the game, making it 35-19. But the game is well in hand. But just to make sure, after an onside kick by FAU, Navy's Blake Horvath keeps it for a 31-yard touchdown, and Navy is up 42-19 with 5:29 left. They end up winning this one 42-32. And if you're curious about how FAU scored 13 points in 5 minutes and 29 seconds, they had a touchdown, onside kick recovery, and then another touchdown there. Like I said, Navy wins 42-32.
Yeah, Navy, they're undefeated, but they have not played a strong schedule at this point. And as I said earlier, the schedule is going to get much more difficult moving forward, starting with this week.
All right. Let's move into our Week 10 previews. Thursday game. Got Tulane.
First we got
eligible.
the bowl eligible teams. We got 5 teams in the American that are bowl eligible after week 9. We got the Tulane Green Wave, Memphis Tigers, South Florida Bulls, North Texas Mean Green, and the Navy Midshipmen. Those are the cream of the crop, if you will, in the American. And we got 2 of them playing each other this week in week 10.
All right, now we're going to get to week 10. Thursday game, Tulane at UTSA, 7:30 p.m. kickoff. Tulane favored by 4.5 points, over under set at 55.5. Give me Tulane laying the points 4.5.
I got 3.5 on my screen.
Oh, you got 3.5. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me refresh mine. I still have 4.5. Either way, I'm taking Tulane.
Yeah, I agree. I think UTSA, man, like the offense, other than Robert Henry, and Robert Henry slowed down considerably from what he was doing early in the year. I think teams have just, I'm assuming they're just stacking the box, right? Because the passing offense hasn't looked as formidable as you would have thought for UTSA, and so I think teams are maybe respecting the pass too much in the beginning, and now they're really focusing in on Robert Henry. He hasn't gone nuts like he did the first couple games of the year, and so yeah, I think Jake Retzlaff, Tulane, there's a opportunity for them to kind of, after the South Florida loss, to kind of keep the momentum on their side and march towards that American championship game. I think they roll against UTSA, even though the game is in San Antonio.
Friday game, Halloween, Memphis at Rice, 7 p.m. kickoff. Memphis favored by 14.5, over under set at 49.5. I'm going to take the over in the points. Memphis.
Is this a game where Memphis could just, it wouldn't shock me right, because they're coming off the high. We saw it happen with UAB. Could they get got by Rice? It's an option offense. It's a little strange, a little weird. I don't think it's likely to happen, but at the same time,
they have Tulane the week after.
Could they be looking ahead to that Tulane game?
I think they learn. I think they learn from their mistakes. But I think Memphis wins this one. I'm going to lay them. Actually, no, I'm not going to lay them with the 14.
It's an avoid for me. I think this game's altogether an avoid for me in terms of betting.
I would take the over in points. I feel pretty good.
It's Memphis should win this game, but they could. They should have beat the ever loving crap out of UAB, and that didn't happen either. So, but I think it's going to be a fun game, right? I think it's going to be. If you forced me to bet, I would take Rice in the points, because I think they can keep it close against Memphis.
I guess look at if there's any weather in this game. See if anybody falls down on this turf. That's what I'm.
Yeah, it looks like 70 degrees. It looks like 70 degrees and sunny. So it doesn't look like there's any precipitation. But speaking of weather, it's a good segue. We do have weather reports for each game up on our site. So yeah, just another something we added late last week. But yeah, the weather reports for each game are up on our website.
All right, Saturday games, we have UAB at UConn, 12 p.m. Eastern kickoff, over under set at 63.5. UConn favored by 12.5 points. I would be taking the over in the points, which might sound crazy, but I don't think 63.5 is enough. UConn offense been tearing it up. UAB been throwing the ball. Doesn't matter who they have at quarterback. UAB and UConn defense not very good. Obviously, UAB's a little bit worse than UConn's. Give me the over in the points.
Yeah, I agree. I'd take the over here. I'm interested to see if it's going to be Jalen Kitna or Ryder Burton again at quarterback for UAB. I don't think it matters. The offense has been prolific with either of those guys. Look for Iverson Hooks, who had a monster game 2 weeks ago. I look for this game to be a big shootout. A lot of production from the quarterbacks, Iverson Hooks and Skylar Bell for the UConn Huskies. Skylar Bell's had an amazing season, right? And it's very under the radar and very quiet. Folks haven't been talking about it, but Skylar Bell, the wide receiver for UConn, has been phenomenal this year. And look for that to continue here in Week 10. And yeah, I agree with you, Luke.
I believe this week or last week, he got a Shrine Bowl invite. So
yeah, he's had a phenomenal season. Very quiet under the radar. But it's like he's 100+ yards and a touchdown every single week, it seems.
Yep. All right. Let's move over to Army at Air Force, 12 p.m. Eastern kickoff. Air Force favored by 1.5. Over under set at 49.5. Give me the over in the points. I just think both these offenses are explosive, especially Air Force, and both of these defense aren't incredibly good at stopping anybody, especially Air Force. So give me the over of 49.5 points.
I'm interested to see the Cale Helms versus Liam Sarka battle, right?
Yeah,
those are the two headliners in this game for me anyway. And I don't know, I think they're both going to just have monster games on the ground. It's going to be a fun game to watch. ODU doesn't play, I think, until 3:30 that day. So this is definitely something I'm going to have to watch in addition to the next game here. But I think it's going to be a fun game to watch these two quarterbacks, Helms and Sarka, run the option for their respective teams.
All right. The game that Justice wants to watch, 7-0 Navy at 7-1 North Texas, 12 p.m. Kickoff. North Texas favored by 6.5 points. Over under set at 65.5. Am I crazy to take the over of 65.5?
I like the over, and I like North Texas by 6.5 too. I don't know the Navy. I mean, given who they played to this point, I haven't been as impressed with that Navy offense. And so they've I don't know they've won the games, but they haven't blown anyone out really. It's been close games.
Well, I think it's that defense hasn't played up to what I thought they should be at this year.
Yeah. And I think the game being at North Texas, shame on game day for not going to this game, right? They're going to frickin' Utah against Cincinnati. Seriously, you got between these two teams, you have one loss, and the one loss was to South Florida, right? And who I still think they're probably the best team, top to bottom in the group of five. But yeah, shame on ESPN and game day not going to this game this Saturday and instead going to Utah Cincinnati. I mean, I don't know. It just seemed like it would have been a great game to kind of feature two of the best in the G5. But yeah, I like the Mean Green. I think as we saw last week, the offense is rolling. The defense is much improved under Skylar Cassidy, and I think they're going to get the win this week. And it just starts the rough schedule that we've been talking about several times tonight with Navy. The schedule gets infinitely more difficult from this point on. Yeah, they still have, I think, Notre Dame to go to. But yeah, give me North Texas and the Mean Green. I like them laying the 6.5 points, and I like the over of 65.5.
All right, and our last game here in the American East Carolina at Temple, 2 p.m. Eastern kickoff. Over-under set at 58.5. ECU favored by 4.5. I'm staying clear of this one. Temple's been playing great football. ECU hasn't been playing like super great, but their offense has been explosive from time to time. But defense, I think how many games was it or quarters was it that they didn't allow a touchdown? Like
their defense has played phenomenal, East Carolina. Like heading into the season, like if you told me to be worried about something for East Carolina, I would have 1,000% been worried about the defense, not the offense. But in reality, it's been the opposite. It's been true. The defense has played solid week in and week out. It's the offense that's struggled against the good teams and played well against the bad teams. This is going to be an interesting matchup, and this one I think also has some sneaky, high-scoring shootout potential as well. Temple with Evan Simon, Kalijah Holloway. You got East Carolina, Caton Hauser, Anthony Smith, Yannick Smith. I could see this being a high-scoring affair. Temple wins this game. Temple gets the bowl eligibility. And like I said earlier, I think they since 2019 they've only won. I think they haven't won more than 3 games in a season, and here they are in week 10 with an opportunity to become bowl eligible. Again, an incredible job by Casey Keeler. I think this is going to be a high-scoring affair. If I have to bet something in this game, I'm going to take the over.
All right. Let's
just want to thank all the supporters that have subscribed to the website, all the subscribers. If you're watching this and you have any suggestions, feedback, etc., feel free to shoot us a DM, me or Luke. You can find us and on X. We're in various Discords as well. So feel free to shoot us a message if you have any feedback, positive, negative, suggestions, etc. Love to hear any thoughts you got on our website, and thank you again for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, encourage you to subscribe. Go check out our X. The pinned post there has a promo code where you'll get your first year. So if you subscribe today, your year won't expire until October 28th, 2026. Basically get it at half price. So that deal is not going to last forever. Encourage folks to sign up now to get that deal versus waiting and then paying full price later. But nonetheless, thank you for all those that have subscribed. And if you're watching us on YouTube, please hit that like and subscribe button. On X, give us a follow, a like, a retweet. If you're listening on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify, please subscribe and leave those 5-star ratings and reviews. Once again, thanks everyone for all the support. Be sure to join us next week as we discuss what happened in week 10, and we look forward to what's coming in week 11. And as always, bring you up to speed on all the latest news and happenings in the world of G5 college football. Till the next time, we are the G5 Hive.